Alright, we've had our elite level breakfast of 2 Belgian buns and we are fully committed to relocate to the Pain Cave the exact way everyone should start their Christmas day, taking on Newark Parkrun with an attendance on the day of 537 runners on a 3-lap course covering narrow sections of path. The primary goal today was simply to stay upright, but ideally also run as fast as possible. As you can see, the start is very congested. I absolutely should have started further forward, but I had foolishly assumed the people in front of me were all faster than me. As we duck and weave our way through the crowd, we're spending quite a lot of time on slightly muddy grass. Not great for the pace, but we're making do. Now, the 5k is not a distance I'm historically especially good at, and it's also not a distance I've ever really targeted. So going into this, I'm sitting on a normal week of training with 20 kilometers in my legs from the day before. My previous PB for this particular parkrun course is 23:25 and my parkrun PB is 22:31. My official 5k PB according to my Run Britain rankings is 22:45. Newark Parkrun is not a fast course, in part because it's a 3-lapper and the congestion that comes with a 3-lap course, but it's also got a reasonable number of turns and a short, slightly uphill, narrow trail section to navigate. If you've been following the channel, you'll know that I'm using the Norwegian singles approach to train for a half marathon, and at the end of November I took a big chunk of time off my 10k PB. My training plan said that I was due a race stimulus this week, so I figured the Christmas Day parkrun was the ideal place to rip it as fast as I could, given that I would then be spending the most of the rest of the day eating. Perfect refueling strategy. I'd like to take a big bite out of my course PB today, but beyond that, I'm very uncertain about how much pop my legs have in them right now, and I'm also very uncertain about how exactly congested the course will get once I start lapping people. At the moment, I think that I need to try and run as fast as I can in case the congestion slows me down a lot later. Now, we're well into the first kilometre and so far managing to hit a fairly good pace, given my history with the 5k and the general training fatigue I'm bringing into this. However, we are imminently approaching our first run up through the trail section. At the moment, the congestion levels aren't too bad as the faster runners have begun to string out a bit, but we are definitely expecting to see the pace slow as we come off the tarmac and on to the uphill trail, as well as navigating our way around other runners. We've got a very festive dog on the left there, and don't worry, Christmas dog will continue to pop up throughout the run, along with many other festive characters. I myself am sporting a flashing red nose and a jingly reindeer headdress. Neither of these items were comfortable to run in, but they did help distract from the intense physical discomfort that would come later. Now, let's make our way into our first attempt at the trail section of the course and see how we get on. Sorry, a bit narrower than I was expecting there.
Well, that's fun.
Bit of argy-bargy. Okay, we are safely through the trail section with a little bit of minor elbow bumping that was entirely my fault. As we can see, the pace did slow quite a bit, but we can pick it up again now. The lad just up ahead of us in the Christmas jumper and the jogging bottoms will pretty much be in view for the rest of the run. Oh, we're getting an overtake there. Don't worry, we'll catch him. This stretch of the course is probably one of the faster sections. We've got a couple of nice long stretches and one relatively wide turn to navigate, so compared to the rest of the course, this is pretty smooth sailing, although as we come around the turn at the top there, we are going to hit a little bit of a headwind and I will start to have a costume malfunction. First kilometre clocks in at 4:36. Not quite what I probably would have wanted, but given the course, I'm working with it. And there goes the headdress. We're going to have to just deal with that in view for quite a bit of the course. We are going to speed things up a little bit along here, just so you don't have to spend quite so long looking at some reindeer antlers in the view and listening to them jingling beautifully next to the microphone. As we can see, I am managing to cut the pace down a bit along this section, despite the headwind, despite the antlers being in my hand, and hopefully this is going to mean that the second kilometre is overall a little bit quicker than the first. Christmas Jumper Lad is still ahead of us, but we also have a new character in the mix who will be making regular appearances throughout the rest of the video. Elf Socks on the left here. Basically ran with me for the entire rest of the race, and she was great. Really encouraging, somehow still able to speak in sentences when I was gasping for air. Yeah, it was really nice to run with her, and I'm really pleased that she decided she was going to stick with me for the whole thing. We have got another section of trail and some barked bits to deal with here, which has slowed the pace down a little, as well as another corner. There's a lot of corners. Pace has dropped. We've got to get back on that if we want to get this second kilometre definitely faster than the first, and I have now zeroed in on Christmas Jumper Lad as a target to try and catch up with and hopefully try and stick with. Gonna whiz through this next bit so that we can see what we get for our second kilometre. At the minute we're still able to move fairly quickly because the course isn't congested. We haven't started to lap anybody yet, but don't worry, that is coming up soon. And as a little bit of entertainment to keep us occupied in the meantime, one of our regular characters is making an appearance. There's Christmas Dog. Yay! Christmas Dog is fast and having a great time, and we are catching up to the bloke in the orange top who overtook us earlier. 4:28 for the second K. Yes, that is faster. But we're coming back up to the trail section, so we've got to try and maintain some kind of speed going up there because the congestion is also about to start happening. From where I am, I can see the tail walkers up ahead, so I know I've got a little bit of time before things start getting too hairy, because obviously the very back of the pack at PARKRUN is mostly walkers. They will be a bit more spread out, but I am going to have to start navigating more and more people, so I'm getting a little bit anxious already. I did speak to the two ladies who were tail walking before the event. They were really nice, and they obviously recognised my jingly headgear. As is now very audible, my breathing is starting to get very laboured, and you can see that my heart rate has been happily sat in the 180s for quite some time now. It does just stay like that for the rest of the run. So far, this second run through the trail section has been fairly smooth sailing. All the walkers are keeping nice and to the left, as the run director requested of them, and Orange Top is having another go at overtaking us. He does seem to like overtaking on the uphill. We'll see if we catch him up again later. And Elf Socks is back. She does periodically get a little bit ahead of me, but we just go back and forth through this part of the course. And let's have a whiz through here, see if we can make some progress on Orange Top. Seems like we're getting him. And back into the headwind, and the headdress is back off again. We're also in the process of overtaking the bulk of the faster walkers, but at the moment the overtaking is still fairly easy.
Don't slow your pace down. I'm trying. Hey, Dad.
Oh, yeah, well done, yeah.
And that was my dad. Fun facts about my dad, because that's definitely why you're watching this video. If you've ever been to the Science Museum in London, you might have sat on a bench that my dad designed. So that's pretty cool. My dad's also had to go through treatment for prostate cancer, and earlier this year his bloods came back with all his markers in order. He is clear of prostate cancer, so excellent news and splendid work there, Timothy. But just to divert back to the run, we can probably hear that my breathing is just getting steadily more and more aggressive. So that's fun. Christmas Jumper Lad has continued to stay ahead of us, but he is still within sight, and our pace has quickened a little bit, so we'll see how we manage to do on this third kilometre. As we navigate the second trail section, we've yet to come up on the bulk of the other runners, and 4:34 for the third kilometre. Again, not quite as quick as I maybe would have liked, but there's still 2 more to go. Alright, we are starting to lap more and more people, and it is starting to slowly get a little bit more difficult, but for the minute, people are staying left, and we still have a fairly clear way through on the right hand side. So for the moment, we're managing. Christmas Jumper Lad is still ahead of us though. It does look like we may have unfortunately lost Christmas Dog as well. I think Christmas Dog got a little bit distracted, maybe just over a kilometre back. So sadly, probably not going to see much of that particular character again. But don't worry, we've got an exciting one coming up on the left here. Jingly Feet, who we are going to pass now. He is definitely providing a festive soundtrack to this particular section of the course. And a little bit of work to do here to make sure we don't run into anyone. Oh, it's fairly tight and... disaster! We've finally caught up to the bulk of the runners. Let's see how this goes.
What are we going to do here? Cross.
We've survived the main pack, but the trail up ahead is going to be a little bit more congested, and I did have to expend a bit more effort trying to get past that group of people. So we'll see if we can maintain much of a pace through here and see whether people are going to try and keep on the left, and whether we need to do a bit of barging through. At the moment, I feel my increasingly exaggerated breathing is probably helping to warn the people ahead of us that something is coming through. So, I guess I'm doing my part.
Guys, stay to the left!
I'm pretty sure the person shouting for people to stay to the left is Elf Socks Lady. I have no idea how she was able to talk in full sentences. I can only assume I was at my limit and she was just along for a jolly. Still quite a bit of slaloming to do, although still a nice selection of costumes to appreciate, or try and appreciate, as I'm endeavouring not to throw my breakfast up on the path in front of me. And as we're coming up to the end of kilometre number 4, we are starting to make consistent ground on Christmas Jumper Lad. Just as we slalom around some more people, there he is. I think we're going to get him. Don't think we're going to get there before the kilometre is over, but we are going to catch up in the last one. Okay, let's steel ourselves for the final run into the headwind. And there he is, we're catching up with him. We're going to get Christmas Jumper Lad 4:36 for that kilometre. Again, not quite what I would have wanted, but given the congestion we were dealing with, I'm not going to be too worried about it. And there is a guide runner on our left there. Always lovely to see guide runners and people with visual impairments out at PARKRUN. Really good that they have that kind of support network available to enable them to do that kind of thing. And Christmas Jumper Lad is trying to stick with us. Are we gonna stay ahead of him? Are we gonna stay ahead of him? Or is he gonna pip us on the line? Let's find out. Christmas Jumper Lad was actually really encouraging. He kept sort of giving me little hand motions to encourage me along a bit faster. And that is Rue, my step-parent, cheering me on. Fun fact about Rue, they are a sub 4-hour marathon runner, which is pretty damn cool. They've also done an excellent job of recovering from having their whole entire thyroid removed, so excellent work there. Alright, we are imminently approaching the finish at this stage. Christmas Jumper Lad is still trying to urge me on a little bit faster, although I'm pretty sure he's going to have more legs left than I do. Elf Socks Lady is still very close to me, and again, I don't have much pop left at this point. I don't think there's a sprint finish in my legs. I don't think it's there. I can't feel it there. I'm going to do my best, but whatever's happening is probably not going to be an especially majestic finish, and if any of these people have got something left in the tank, they are absolutely going to be able to take me on the line at this point. But it's coming up. We've got a little bit of downhill here. That bloke he's really got loads left in the tank, hasn't he? Bloody hell. Anyway, a little bit of downhill here, and then we do have a devious little section of uphill to deal with in a moment, which is not really what you want at the end of a max effort 5k. Christmas Jumper Lad he's looking far too smooth. There goes Elf Socks. She's starting the charge. I'm trying to go with it. Christmas Jumper Lad's he's just look at that. We're not going to match that, are we? And then Elf Socks is just doing her best to try and catch up with him. 4:23 for the last kilometre and an official park run time of 22:40.
I followed you around the whole way. Thank you. Oh, I'm fucked.
So that is my fastest 5k time this year, which I genuinely was not expecting to pull out the bag on a not ideal course in the middle of a 100-kilometre training week. So yeah, I will take that. I will absolutely take that, and I am going to be happy with that. It does make me more confident that when I sort of have a 5k that I can maybe do a little bit of a taper into, I can probably easily smash a load off my actual PB. So exciting times. Looking forward to next year.
Just trying to catch up with my dad, but he walks quite quickly. We're closing in, hunting him down. So yeah, alright with that. Felt like I put a really good race effort in, which was basically what was on the training plan for this week, and now I'm going to go eat a load of food, as presumably everybody else is today. Alright, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.